Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back again to our channel. On this particular video, I want us to have a look at Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka's secret weapon for 2027 general election. Just a general overview of his strategy and game plan, and whether Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka can actually emerge victorious in 2027. And for those who've been following Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka's politics of late, something is very clear, that Kalonzo Musyoka's eyes are trained on the presidency. Recently, Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka delivered a message to the Kamba nation, and he was very angry and bitter that the Kamba nation failed to turn up for the mandamanos, and he actually appealed to them to emulate the Luo nation, who are respected in the Republic of Kenya, because when they decide to take a stand, they express it. And again, for those who have an ear inside Azimio, they will tell you that Kalonzo Musyoka was one of the radical individuals who were completely against Raila Odinga meeting with William Ruto to discuss anything over the bipartisan approach. Kalonzo Musyoka insisted that they needed to just continue with what they had begun. That's not the Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka we know. So in this video, I want us to look at his strategy. Before we do that, for those who are watching this channel for the first time, I want you guys to take a second or two, click that subscribe button, so that next time we produce a video like this, YouTube will automatically notify you. And to the subscribers, I want you guys to continue supporting this channel the way you've always done, and I really appreciate that. You can do that by giving the video a thumbs up, liking the video, and sharing it. Now let us get back to the main issue. What is Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka's game plan for 2027? For me, his options are now narrow, and I can narrow them to two. His first option would be, in case Raila Odinga will be running, to hope that he can be made the running mate and then support Raila Odinga again. That option, for me, would be very dangerous for Kalonzo Musyoka, because in Ukambani, the Kamba nation will say no to him. Which brings me to his second option, to run for the presidency alone. Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka can run for the presidency alone after falling out with Raila Odinga, or he can run alone but with the support of Raila Odinga. But what are his game plan? What are his secret weapons? Number one is the game of numbers. Kalonzo Musyoka is one of the individuals who are privileged to have numbers to begin with whenever there's an election. Kalonzo Musyoka has managed to deliver to Azimio in the last election, despite the fact that he was even opposed and he really didn't have any interest in campaigning for Azimio. He has the numbers. During NASA, he delivered fully the Kamba nation votes. In fact, Ukambani voted for Raila Odinga more than even the Luo Nyanza in terms of percentages. When he contested for the presidency, Kalonzo Musyoka had the entire Kamba nation. As at now, the entire Kamba nation has a total of 1.7 million registered voters. That is a block which Kalonzo Musyoka will always begin with. But because our politics is a bit tribal and a bit regional, if Musyoka were to run today, he can still bank on the Eastern Bloc. The Eastern Bloc has 3.3 million votes intact. That is more than Nyanza. And I know Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka, if he were to be serious, he can easily get the Eastern votes, which is Marsabit, Mbere, Meru, Tharaka. He can get that vote if Raila will be on the ballot, if Ruto will be on the ballot. In fact, the other issue is, if Ruto is on the ballot, Raila is not on the ballot, and Kalonzo is on the ballot, he can perform better than Raila Odinga in those regions. So those are some of the beliefs people have. So when it comes to game of numbers, Kalonzo Musyoka is actually favored in terms of numbers, because even places like Coast, there is the semblance of Ukambani influence. But now, assuming he's going into this election with the support of Raila Odinga, because that's exactly what he's looking at, which takes me to the second option, second weapon, Raila Odinga factor. You see, Kalonzo Musyoka is hoping and praying that he gets the support of Raila Amolo Odinga. But how can he get the support of Raila Amolo Odinga? He must do two things or three. The first thing he must do is to align his politics with those of Raila Odinga supporters. Raila Odinga supporters are radical. Kalonzo Musyoka previously was not a radical politician. If you've been studying Kalonzo Musyoka of late, he's turning into one of the most radical politicians we have in the country. If he can click, of course, currently, if you ask Raila Odinga supporters, those who believe in Raila Odinga, they can comfortably vote for Kalonzo Musyoka. Previously, they were comfortable voting for Ruto. So Kalonzo is hoping that Raila Odinga is going to be a gentleman, and because of other factors, he's hoping that Raila Odinga is going to support him. That is a secret weapon for Kalonzo Musyoka. And again, Kalonzo Musyoka is also trying to seek the sympathy of Raila Odinga supporters, so that the moment Raila Odinga will not support him, because there's a chance that Raila Odinga might be on the ballot, or there's a chance that he might not be on the ballot. In case he might not be on the ballot, then he decides not to support Kalonzo, then he hopes that as a huge chunk of Raila Odinga supporters will actually go and support him. So that's the other secret weapon which he's holding dear to his chest. The other factor is his experience. You know, ahead of the 2027 general election, Kalonzo Musyoka told Raila Odinga one thing, that if you want to become the president of the Republic of Kenya, support me. If you can't support me, have me as a running mate. Raila Odinga then decided and picked on Martha Karua. In my view, that choice of Martha Karua, as much as it brought several advantages to the ticket, it did not deliver in terms of numbers. Otherwise, today we would not be arguing about Raila Odinga's performance in the mountain. Gishugu constituency would have a member of parliament or even an MCA. Karua failed. On the other side, Kalonzo Musyoka delivered Ukambani voting block. So he has that experience. He's been a former vice president, a former foreign affairs minister. So which means if Kalonzo were to be sponsored as a presidential candidate in Azimio, the questions of being inexperienced and all those will not arise. So that experience will come into handy. Kalonzo Musyoka also believes very strongly that one of his secret weapons is going to be delivered to him by Kenya Kwanza itself. Kenya Kwanza is going to fail terribly. In fact, if Kenya Kwanza is not careful, they are going to go the direction of Sri Lanka. Kenyans are going to rebel against it. A revolution is going to emerge against Kenya Kwanza. The alternative is going to be Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka. And that's something which Kalonzo Musyoka is fully aware of. And that's why he was not keen on having a handshake between Raila and Ruto. That handshake is going to erode a lot of things. One of them is that just like the way Raila Odinga carried the Jubilee failure burden, to an extent that 6 months later, Rigathi Gachagua is still blaming handshake for failure to pay teachers. So that's one of his secret weapons. The other secret weapon for Kalonzo Musyoka is the Kikuyu voting bloc, the Kikuyu nation, or the mountain. Now, let me ask you, assuming Kalonzo Musyoka is on the ballot, Ruto is on the ballot, and Raila is on the ballot, who do you think will win the mountain? That's a very easy question, but very tough one. Because there are many people who believe in this country that William Ruto managed to win the mountain, not because they loved him, but because they hated Raila Odinga. Do we agree that if you remove Raila Odinga from the mind of the Kikuyu nation and you leave Ruto and Mudavadi and Kalonzo, there is a chance that Kalonzo Musyoka will definitely win. That Ruto might not necessarily win the mountain because they believe that Ruto and the mountain, their relationship is actually cemented by Raila Odinga. So that is a secret weapon which Kalonzo hopes that the moment Azimio will endorse him as the presidential candidate, the mountain will shift. And probably Kalonzo Musyoka is also one of the biggest headache William Ruto is facing. And that's why he's been trying so hard, William Ruto is trying so hard to try and get another block from the Western Kenya, the lawyer Kisii. Lastly, the fate in Azimio is favoring Kalonzo. Age is catching up with Raila Odinga. He has contested. He has not succeeded. So there's a general consensus that probably the best thing Raila Odinga can do in 2022 is to support Kalonzo Musyoka. But there are those who believe that it's only Raila Odinga who can face Ruto and take him to the wire. But under any circumstance, the fate in Azimio is favoring Kalonzo. If Raila were to support him, that would be fate. If Raila Odinga were not to support him, Kalonzo Musyoka will just bolt out. And rest assured, he will carry along some support. I don't know what you think, but that's my take. Thank you guys, and may you have a good day. Bye-bye.